about why you should go on a site inspection. That is our topic for today. And this is something very, very important, something a lot of people ignore when it comes to investing in real estate right here in the city of Abuja or any other part of the world. Now, here's a quick one. I just want to ask you a question, right? When you buy a car without actually seeing it, or let me put it this way, will you buy a car without even test driving the car? Even at the point where you see the car, you want to test drive it to see how good the car is, how the interior feels, right? So it's applicable to buying a property. Site inspection is one of the major steps that you need to take before you pay for land or a house anywhere you're watching us from. Yet we have a lot of people who don't mind taking the risks of buying a property without going on the site inspection. So let's talk about why site inspection matters today, right? So we're going to start with what site inspection is. When you hear the word site inspection, what comes to your mind? Does it sound like it's something that is very diplomatic? What exactly is site inspection? So site inspection simply means you going to check out the property you're interested in buying. It could be land, it could be house. And you're just going to check to confirm, know the property physically on ground, and then look at the house properly before you make your payment. And this decision alone moves you from guessing to being sure and helps you make very confident buying decision, right? Again, site inspection is simply that process where you go and see the property, that is land or house, that you're interested in buying before making payments. Now, here's a question I would like us to, bring our minds to. Now, why is site inspection important? Why does it even matter? Why do I have to go on a site inspection when I want to buy a property? Is it not just land? Can't I just pay money and go my way? So let's look at why it is important. Number one, the first reason why you need to do a site inspection or go on a site visit is to first, check and confirm if that land or house you're interested in truly exists. Yes, we've had situations where people sell properties to, ignorant buyers, and these properties do not really exist on ground. You could just see maybe the brochure or the flyer, and you're seeing the plot size, you're seeing the location. Or when you eventually go to see the land that you paid for, you won't see anything on ground. So site inspection helps you first verify that this land or house that you're interested in truly exist. The second one is to verify the exact location. Now, when you hear where the location of the property you're interested in is, for instance, let's say you're interested in buying a property located in Wuye, and they told you that that property on Wuye. The first thing you'd like to do is to go and check where in Wuye that property is located. So going on the site visit helps you know the exact area where the property is located. The second one is you get to see the surrounding environment. So you weigh, you check, who are my neighbors? How is the area like, are there people living here already? Do we have other, let's say, infrastructure development around the area, around the environment? You check all of that, observe and know what is happening in the environment that your property is located. And another one, which is also very, very important, is that it helps you, check the access roads. Some people buy properties where there is no access road, and sometimes I just wonder, how do you want to access your land or your house? Or some buy and maybe there's just one lungu, one tiny road. You have to follow the back of this house, this building before you get to the land or to the house. So when you go on a site visit, it helps you see very clearly, oh, I can actually drive to this property, right? So it keeps you more informed. And then you also access the space, the layout. Now, this also helps you know exactly, all of these will help you confirm if the layout that is in the document is exactly the layout you're seeing on ground. And again, it also helps you check, especially when you go with a surveyor, to check your boundaries, if the dimensions, the boundaries and everything on the survey that you have matches what is also on ground. Now, I've heard of stories where people pay for properties, they buy properties, and what is in their survey doesn't, on paper, doesn't match what is on ground. So it is very important that you do this as well. And again, reviews completely what the documents that you have will not show you, right? So it is important. And by taking this bold step alone, it helps you make costly mistakes when you're investing in real estate, one. And secondly, it builds your confidence before making payment. Now, when you go to the property, you see that the location check, you see that, the topography of the land, you know if it is waterlogged, if it is a slopy area, if it is rocky area and all of that. And when you see what you see there, if it is what you like, if it is what you love and you don't really mind, then it builds that confidence in you. You can go ahead and make your payment. So there's just a quick story. There's a story of something that happened. There are some people who, when they sell property to you and you ask them, where is this property located? They'll tell you it's just 5 minutes, just 5 minutes to the express, just 5 minutes to the road. But when you go there to see yourself, sometimes you're going to confirm two things. It's either you confirm that it is truly 5 minutes from the expressway, or you realize that it is way more than 5 minutes, sometimes even drive from the express. So going on site inspection will help you to avoid falling victim. So recently, a client of mine is not in the country at the moment, wanted me to help him check out property, someone sent to him. He just needed someone on ground that will help him check that property, and based on the information we had on the property, they said it is facing the third road. Guess what? I went to that property and it took us close to 15 minutes to locate the property itself. It is nowhere facing any third road. So some of these things happen. And imagine if he had not sent someone to help him do that check, to match what he's been told already, or what the video, confirm what he has been sent on the video. He wouldn't have known that this is just a trick, right? He would have gone ahead to buy, thinking he owns a plot of land that is directly facing a major expressway. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be looking at is the 3 ways site inspection is done. So, like I mentioned earlier, site inspection is an integral part of due diligence. It is something you should do, or I'll put it this way, something you must do whenever you want to invest in any property, any location that you are. And there are 3 different ways that this is done. Number one, you can do a physical site inspection. 2, you can do a virtual site inspection. 3, you can do a site inspection by proxy, right? Now, let's look at physical site inspection. So when you visit this property yourself, let's say the land or the house, you check the land itself, you check the access road, like I've mentioned before, you observe the neighborhood, you ask questions, you examine the land's topography, you ask your neighbors questions most of the time. Most of the time, people who live around, the property, they know the history, they know who and who is fighting on that land. They know if that land is under government acquisition. They also know if that land, they can give you information that you might not find, any other place. And with that information, you do more of the digging, right? Um, and then there are some people, some clients who, when they go for a site inspection and they get to see how good the property is, they get to see that the location, the topography, the neighborhood, and the access road ticks. They could even increase the number of plots that they intended to buy before they went for that inspection, right? So going for an inspection is very, very important. And you can do physical inspection by yourself if you're on ground. The second one is a virtual site inspection. So virtual site inspection can be done through live video calls, real-time walkthroughs, recorded videos, and probably pictures. I think about last year, sometime around June or so, I had a client who wanted to see one of our properties here in Abuja. And this client was not in the country at the time, but he really needed to see that property. Why? Because he wanted to make a buying decision as soon as possible before the price changes. And we decided to do a virtual inspection for him. So I went to the site. I went to the round the estate, checking what he was interested in. So he wanted to buy a one-bedroom apartment and see the exterior. This happened all through a video call, right? So if you're not on ground, you can also conduct a virtual site inspection. Not being physically present shouldn't be the reason why you would go ahead and make purchase of the land or house you're interested in without carrying an inspection. You need to see what you're paying for. You need to see where you're putting your money in. And the next one is inspection by proxy. So this is a situation where maybe you're not on ground, maybe you're very, very busy. You're very, very busy and you may not be able to, carry out a virtual inspection. Or maybe you've even carried out a virtual inspection, but yet you still want to send someone to physically go and confirm what you've seen virtually, just like what I did for my other clients, right? So this is a situation where you send someone to inspect on your behalf. Now, it could be a trusted realtor, that's an experienced real estate consultant, or it could be your family member, or maybe a professional, maybe your lawyer or your surveyor, or any of these people could work. So for a trusted realtor, this is someone, an experienced realtor, this is someone who is already in the field, right? So they'll be able to give you an honest review. And then for family member, just ensure that the family member you're sending is someone who understands real estate, who understands real estate investment, who understands how real estate investment works. Not someone who does not have an idea at all about real estate. So I've heard of people who just send their family members, contact their family members. Oh, there's this land I want to buy somewhere. Please, can you go and help me check? And then these family members, because they do not understand, real estate enough, they are not experienced, they are not professionals. They go there and the feedback they give, determines the decision that the buyer makes. Now, sometimes, or rather most of the time, the buyer might not really proceed with buying that property. And in most of this kind of situation, this property is a property that would benefit them. But because this proxy, the representative, who is a family member, this person cannot give you an honest, sincere view so that you'll be able to make your own buying decision. That is why it is important to make use of professionals when it comes to buying real estate, or when it comes to buying real estate, site inspection is all part of it. So maybe you want to conduct a site inspection, you want to conduct due diligence, you want anything relating to, real estate investment, you need someone who's experienced in this field. This is similar to when you're ill, right? If you're ill, you go to see a doctor. You don't go to see someone who repairs cars, a mechanic, right? So when it comes to real estate investment, when you want to make a buying decision, or when you're interested in a property or anything that has to do with the property, from consulting to physical checks, and to due diligence and all of that, you need people who are experienced in the real estate field. They will help you better and give you, better results at the end of the day, right? So again, just like I said, there are three ways you can conduct a site inspection. One, you can do it physically by yourself. That is if you're on ground. Secondly, you can do it virtually if you're not on ground, or if you're way too busy to handle the physical aspect yourself. And the third one is by proxy. But just ensure that your proxy understand how real estate investments work. So I have a very quick question here. Physical site inspection, virtual site inspection, and inspection by proxy. Which one works best, right? I'd like to know that in the comment section. You've been following us from the very start of our session and up until this moment value. So you know what physical inspection, virtual site inspection, and site inspection by proxy means. So which among these work better? Just drop that in the comments. Would like to know. So here's my own opinion, right? In my own opinion, if you're not able to be on ground physically, you can do with the virtual option, right? If you're too busy to do with the virtual option, you can send a proxy. And in some situations, you can do all of them. You can decide to do a physical inspection, do a virtual inspection, and also send someone. If you're not satisfied, you can decide to carry out the three of them before making your decision. So the real risk, right, is not inspecting at all. Either of them works. Either of them works physically, virtually, or by proxy. Either of them works, right? So I have a quick story for you, right? I had two people who wanted to invest in real estate, and the other person did not mind, just trusted the words of the seller, went ahead and made payments. And the funny thing is, he had experienced this before. So for every time he wants to buy a property, you just see the video that they sent him, just the video, the brochure, and then just believe the words of the seller, and then he'll go ahead and make payments before going to see the site. So in this particular situation, he went ahead and made payment. And when he got to the site, he realized that the land that he paid for was waterlogged. Guess what? He has to spend a lot of money before he can build on that land, because he needs to do sand filling and all of that before he can put up a structure. But if only he went to see that land physically, to went to inspect that land before making purchase, he would have avoided all of the troubles, all of the wahala that comes with sand filling, all the expenses, all the monies that he had to spend just because he had already put money. And guess what? He didn't buy one plot. He bought more than one plot, right? So how can you be buying a property in millions and you just go ahead and pay without doing, verifying, just, without doing a physical inspection? While the other one went ahead, made, and he was not around, but he sent someone. First, he sent someone who came. Luckily, this person was someone who understood, how real estate works, and the person was able to give him an honest feedback. And then he also carried out a virtual inspection and then went ahead and made his payment. So when he came into the country to see his property, he was really, really excited. He was super excited. Oh, I made the right decision. Oh, I'm so glad I invested in this land. And guess what? Because of what he saw, how he loved it, he went ahead and made more purchase in that same, location. So doing a site inspection, is going to give you different opinions of the land you want to invest in, maybe land or a house. And when it comes to a house, you're going to check the you're going to check the structure, right? You're going to check if how that building was constructed met, safety standards. So you don't get to buy a house and at the end of the day, you're just seeing mold all over. You're just seeing, the walls are cracking and all of that. You carry out your physical site inspection. Now you want to buy a house that is fully finished. You also come and check the work that is done. See it physically for yourself. In rainy season, will I be able to live comfortably in this house? Can I live comfortably in this house? In dry season, will I live comfortably in this house? The same thing applies to land. What happens when it rains? Is the road motorable? Is it accessible during rainy season? Is my building, whatever it is, whatever project I want to carry on that land, is it going to be affected or not? So going for inspection again helps you, helps you make well-informed decision, right? Inspection changes everything. It helps you decide if you're going to move ahead with your inspection or not. So here are a few takeaways that I would like you to take note of today. Number one, real estate is too big to guess. Don't just guess your way into investing in real estate. Ensure that you do your findings. And one of the findings that you must do is a site inspection. Number two, if you don't inspect, you're relying on hope. Hope is not a strategy, right? Hope is not a strategy. You cannot be hoping and be paying millions. And at the end of the day, you realize that you just paid millions and there's nothing to show for it. You don't have a land, you don't have the house you're paying for. At the same time, you do not have your money, right? You've lost your money. So with this, we've come to the end of our session today. If you got value in today's session, we'd like to know in the comments. If you have questions, you have suggestions of any kind, concerning real estate, drop that in the comments and we'll take your questions and provide solutions for you. And if you're looking to invest in a property in the city of Abuja, or you want to book a virtual inspection, or you want to inspect a property you're interested in, before you rent, all you have to do is reach out to us. There'll be a number in the comment section. Just reach out to that number, call us a message, and would help you, carry out your physical site inspection. We'll help answer every question that you have, before you proceed with your investment. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with today is buy with clarity, buy with confidence. Clarity would help you make better, well-informed decisions. And when you're buying, you also buy with confidence that you're putting your money into something that will give you value and not something that would, make you regret in the nearest future. So thank you once again for joining us in this live session today. Remember, today we talked about why you should go on the site inspection. And site inspection is simply, checking out the property you invested in, you're interested in. Sorry, checking out the property you're interested in. You could do that physically, you could do that virtually, or you could also send someone, a representative who understands how the real estate market works. So till we come your way again, have a nice day.